The price of Bitcoin on its way to all-time high, possibly in the next coming weeks or even coming days. However, we are hitting the strongest level of resistance, which is that point of control from the entire range since March. We'll be going through the most important levels and scenarios for the next trading setup and talking about the reaccumulation schematic. We have the most important week next week because we have Donald Trump speaking at the Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville. And this is very likely going to be bullish. So will we be seeing all-time highs possibly before the end of next week, or are we going to get that big major pullback? This is what we're going to discuss, guys. We'll be taking a look at the liquidity, so make sure to stay tuned till the very end. Quick reminder, my favorite platform is Bybit. If you cannot trade on Bybit, the best alternative is Bluffing. It is a no KYC platform and you get the best bonus available with the link down below in the description, up to $80,000 deposit bonus. The more you deposit and trade, the more airdrops you're going to get in your futures exchange, so you can use that money for trading. Let's dive in, guys. First of all, I want to go through the reaccumulation schematic, okay? I'm going to be leaving the chart above so you can actually see the steps. It does look like that all of this move between March and July has finished, possibly being a very large ABC corrective structure. And looking at the reaccumulation schematic, the spring point has already happened and we are halfway through the creek point, which is that descending channel that we've had in June. So the question is, have we already created the test here just in early July, where we did get the spring point? We did get a movement down to retest the lows here from the 1st of May, sitting at $56,600 range, and we are already on our way to be hitting all-time high in the next coming days. The question is, will we get a severe pullback first of all? And if that does happen, it is just going to bring you that second last opportunity before we head up to all-time highs, which is highly likely. Now, looking at this scenario, we could arguably discuss, hey, the test point has already happened. We've already halfway through. We are inside of the value area range, hitting that point of control. So maybe this has finished, right? The value area low should be providing insane support. So if we are going to get that pullback to the very low $60,000 range, it's going to be very interesting to form a higher low and just continue to the upside. So far, there is just two cases here and they are both bullish. However, there is one slightly bearish in the short term that we just need to take into consideration, and that is getting that pullback of a few $1,000s before we continue to the upside. Now, going through the pure technical analysis, we are hitting the strongest level of resistance. This level of resistance is the point of control that did get respected also back in April. When we do get the fixed volume profile tool and we analyze March and April, this was also the point of control back then. You can see the resistance that we did get right over here. Now, this is still the point of control. This level did manage to bounce as support here back in May, as you can see. All of those daily candles just wicking beneath the point of control and getting an insane bounce. This level is insane resistance. The last couple of days, we are hitting this level and getting a reaction. The question is, are we going to get the pullback right now? Are we going to retest the highs once more and then get the pullback? Well, I want to go a little bit through Elliott wave theory in a very simple way. And that is just going to the 4-hourly time frame. Now, you can clearly see since the lows created the first week of May, you can get the low right over here, the first week of July, the $53,300 range. You can see that pump here to the upside, and we could arguably count this as a wave 1 and this a wave 2, as you can see on the chart. The wave 3 being very explosive, happening here the last week. Now, this corrective move, a very shallow 4th wave, and we are in the 5th wave. Now, just looking at this in a very basic manner, Elliott wave theory moves in 5 impulsive waves, and we do have 5 waves here. Has the 5th wave finished though, or we are still inside of the 5th wave? That is the question. Nevertheless, we could be expecting a severe pullback, okay, in a wave 2 in a larger, okay, Elliott wave count. So wave 2s can retrace all the way down to the 7/8 Fibonacci. That would be bringing the price below $58,000. We do have that CME gap. If you only focus on CME gap, saying that we need to fill it, well, obviously you're missing this major rise. There are CME gaps from the past, even at $9,000, that haven't been filled, okay? So this is something that we shouldn't say we need to fill the CME gap, we need to fill it, because maybe this one is not going to be filled, right? I do think that if we do get that pullback, the CME gap is at a very, very crucial zone, okay? It is slightly below the value area low from this entire range. So just by speculation, the most bearish case scenario that I do see here happening in the next coming days, if we are going to get this resistance, okay, a major pullback from the point of control, the most respected level from the last few months on the higher time frame, we need to consider the value area low of the entire range that has been getting support, some fake outs. We did get this breakout over here. However, this doesn't mean that if you break beneath the value area low, you're going to continue to the downside. It is a zone that I am speculating that it is going to find that major big bounce. That is if we were to go down there. We have the CME gap. We have the value area low. We have completed 5 waves, or possibly on the verge of completing. We could get one more leg up, okay? This is a level that a lot of shorters are looking at, okay? A lot of people willing to short this trade, okay? And we could be building massive amount of liquidity above us. There is already a huge amount of short liquidations above $72,000. There is over $10 billion of short liquidations, okay, above us. So if people are willing to short this level, you just need to consider that we might even continue the short squeeze to complete the reaccumulation schematic. It's just going to blast through to all-time high. Now this level, yes, it is resistance. It looks like that we are on the verge of completing this 5th wave locally from the last few weeks. So we just need to be cautious of a potential pullback. If that pullback were to happen, we are looking at the Fibonacci retracement. Most commonly for a wave 2, you retrace in between 50% and the 7/8 Fibonacci. 50%, if this were to be the high, is already sitting at $60,600, okay? So as a minimum, you're already retracing below the value area low. You're getting to the top of the CME futures gap, okay? Uncommon to see the 382 as a wave 2. However, if this is very impulsive, you might just retrace down to the 382 Fibonacci retracement. As you can see on the chart, is where you have the wave 4, okay? So maybe it is going to be a shallow pullback and then you off to the races. Most of the people expecting that you are going to get a much larger pullback to fill CME futures gap, to get beneath the value area low. So without a doubt, the 382 already at $62,700 could just be a sweep of liquidity from those higher lows that we formed the last few days. Without a doubt, there is a long setup by just sweeping these lows at $62,500 range, okay? There is definitely a long setup. If you just get beneath the level, there's a nice day trade that could turn into a swing trade, all right? That is if we were to come all the way down there. Now, on the other side, the most bullish case scenario, what happens if we do not get that pullback from this level and we start breaking through? I believe that the price is not going to jump to all-time high in the next 1 to 2 days, right? Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, without getting a significant pullback. And what are the most important levels of resistance that we do have on the chart? Well, obviously, we want to get the daily levels, weekly levels. We want to analyze here also Fibonacci retracement from the highs over here that was created the first week of June to the pivot low, and we do have the 7/8 Fibonacci and the daily. Without a doubt, we could get one more wick to the upside to complete this wave 5 to then get the pullback, okay? Please note that there is a lot of people willing to short this zone. I am shorting as well, hedging against my longs. I am very defensive, very much aware that we could wick above the highs from yesterday again, but also very interested in a possible pullback. So manage risk. This is not a zone to be adding to your position, all right, expecting a pullback, just because we could see that blast off, all right, in this reaccumulation and just break out from the point of control of this entire range. And if we were to get a successful breakout, well, without a doubt, okay, this point of control could flip as support, just like we did here back in June, okay? So a major breakout from this level is just going to be looking quite bullish, all right? We could be seeing just very shallow pullbacks and continuation to the upside till we hit all-time high. So stay very cautious with short positions, manage risk accordingly. Don't get in a huge major short, guys, because price could be on the verge of hitting all-time high. However, this is a shorting range. You want to try and short the highest level possible, manage risk accordingly, okay? Tight stop losses, accept a minor loss, and re-enter if you do reject from the local highs, because yes, we could be on the verge also of getting a major pullback, and this would only be healthy to get a huge major rally for the next 1 to 2 weeks to hit the all-time high. Also, a big major level of resistance that we need to take into consideration is not only the value area high from the entire range, which is sitting around about $70,000. If we pull a Fibonacci retracement from the highs, okay, of this major move down from June, that is where we have the 0.88 Fibonacci. 0.88 Fibonacci has been extremely strong level of resistance or support based on the previous price action that we've had during the last few months. And I can explain you several scenarios getting peak lows and peak highs. So the $70,000 range is without a doubt a rejection point. You're likely going to get a rejection from that level, even though if it's just a few $100 for all of those aggressive scalpers. When we take a look at this pivot low created here back in March, you can get Fibonacci from this pivot low to the pivot high. We can see how the 0.88 Fibonacci, bang, big major bounce, okay? 0.88 Fibonacci. We also have this pivot high over here. Fibonacci retracement from the pivot high to the pivot low. 0.88 Fibonacci, big major rejection. Also back over here, pivot low to the pivot high that was created in June. What happened? 0.88 Fibonacci, big major bounce. So we want to take that 0.88 Fibonacci into consideration here from the pivot high to the pivot low for a possible rejection point. That is exactly slightly below $70,000. It's in confluence with the value area high of the entire range between March and July. And there is another resistance zone that I want to pull out on the chart. It is this lower high resistance, okay, that we do have from this descending channel. The support got insane bounces, and also the resistance, big rejection, big fake outs. That is also slightly above from the lower high resistance channel. So you could get that attempt in breaking out from the channel and get that big major rejection. Possibly the channel could be support, the resistance. So it is just a pullback potentially of several $100, or at the most, $1,000 to $2,000 to get that support from the lower high resistance from this descending channel. Okay, so big major level right over here, 0.88 with a value area high. Also, we do have the daily and the 7/8 Fibonacci, which is slightly above here. The channel you can see here at $68,000 range. So we just need to be paying attention. We could be completing a fifth wave here, looking at Elliott wave theory, and have a fake out from the point of control and get a larger pullback before things get crazy in the next 1 to 2 weeks or even days, guys. Okay. Things are looking very, very bullish. However, we've had a beautiful move to the upside the last week. And after such a major move, we could be seeing a pullback, okay? We do have Donald Trump speaking in Nashville, Bitcoin 2024. This starts from Friday to Sunday. And he is very pro Bitcoin and crypto. This is not only going to be in social media, but in general media. And this is going to go out to the public, and it could create a FOMO stage, okay, for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So everything is looking very positive indeed. Remember that we do have billions of dollars of short liquidations above $72,000. Taking a look at the liquidation heat map on the lower time frames, yes, we do have several $100 million, just over $1 billion slightly below $63,000. And that is in confluence with the possibility of creating that second wave, all right, after forming this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could get a sweep, okay, a little bit of a pullback to claim that liquidity before things get explosive to the upside, okay? Just be cautious. This is the strongest level of resistance that we do have from the last few months. But overall, things are looking bullish for the next coming weeks for Bitcoin. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you in the next one.